Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Season 2, Week 45 of the DC Sports Digest. Lots to talk about as usual, so without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Starting with the Nats, it was another really bad week. Didn't get a single win this week, losing the Phillies and Yankees series and the first game of the Rays series, giving them a 53-81 record, which means if they won every single game, they would be at 500 at 81-81, so that is really just not good. They released their 2026 schedule, so that was good to see. They also ended up throwing 77 pitches in one inning versus the Yankees, which is actually ridiculous. That's just unacceptable no matter what team you're playing. And unfortunately, Drew Milas was hurt now for the season, but it did mean our pitcher, Shinosuke Ogasawara, got taken at bat. Unfortunately, he was lame. He didn't even swing and just, I think, struck out on 3 pitches. So that was unfortunate. We called up CJ Stubbs, who was making his debut, so that's good to see. Congrats on the call-up. And that's all I have for the Nats. Not too much going on. But this week we had the Rays series finishing, the start of the Marlins series, and the start of the Cubs series. That's all I have for the Nats. On the Wizards, just want to shout out some of our players playing with their national teams. Starting with Eurobasket, Tristan Vucevic with Serbia. They beat Estonia. And France beat Belgium with Sar and Koulibaly. Also, Keyshawn George scored 18 points for Canada in the AmeriCup quarterfinal. They play in the semifinal tonight. So good luck to Keyshawn and Sar and Koulibaly and Vucevic with their national teams. That's all I have for the Wizards for now. On to the Caps, not really much either. They did get their national TV schedule coming out, and they do have 18 games across various national TV sources. So that's kind of crazy, but nice to see, I guess. So hopefully that will work out well for them. And I think rookie camp starts in around 2 weeks, so have a little more information coming soon. That's all I have for the Caps. On to the Commanders, a lot to recap. They lost the last preseason game versus the Ravens. Pretty boring game, and they have an 0-3 record in the preseason. Not that it matters. Sam Hartman and Josh Johnson looked unimpressive. Josh Johnson ended up getting the QB3 spot, and Sam Hartman is back in the practice squad. The final roster is listed below along with the practice squad. We didn't really have any waiver claims. We eventually later signed running back Donovan Edwards from the Jets and also Darius Rush. They got both on the practice squad, and Andre Jones got claimed by the Bills. Unfortunately, Sam Cosmi hit the PUP list, and he is out the first 4 weeks. But really the big news is that Terry McLaurin finally got extended. The deadline spurred action. And the official deal is 3 years, $96 million, but that is not really the base value of it is a 3-year deal worth $87 million, which is really $29 million per year instead of $32 million per year. He's also getting a $30 million signing bonus, and he's getting $44 million guaranteed. He has a lot of incentives each year. So, although it looks like a lot of money to pay him with the 3 years, $96 million, in actuality, it's a more team-friendly contract, and there's an out after a couple of years when he gets older. So I think it's a really good contract. I'm glad something got done, and now we can focus on football and hopefully a Super Bowl run this year. Yes, that was really the big news for us, and also I wanted to talk about the tomfoolery of another team in our division, the Cowboys, because Micah Parsons was traded to the Packers for 2 first-round picks and a player. So that was just kind of ridiculous to see. I'm glad he's out of the division. We will still be playing him week 2. So that will be interesting to see. And also wanted to mention the only really interesting thing about our roster was that we only kept 5 receivers. We have other guys in the practice squad, but we do have Kendrick Bourne from who used to play for the Patriots. He got released. He's going to visit us on Tuesday. So I'm hoping he will sign with us and be that either the 5th receiver over Luke McCaffrey or the 6th receiver. Because I think he could be better than what we have right now in the practice squad. So, like I said, here's below you can see the names of the roster and then the practice squad below. So yeah, that is the official roster that came out. That's why I have the Commanders. This week they're just going to be prepping for week 1. And next week I will give you more info about week 1 versus the Giants. We're getting so close to week 1. That's all I have for the Commanders. Other DC sports news, DC United tied Miami. Their next game is today versus New York City FC. Washington Spirit beat Bay FC. Their next game is tomorrow versus Chicago. Mystics unfortunately lost all 3 of their games to the Aces, Storm, and Liberty. But Kiki Arifin did break the franchise single-season rebound record, so that was great to see. They have games this week against the Valkyries, Sparks, and Mercury. Their season is almost over. They have the 10 seed. There's 8 teams to make the playoffs, so we'll see if they can make a push to the playoffs or if they're just going to be a few games away again this year. But they really got to start turning it up now if they want to make the playoffs. DC Power beat Jacksonville. They started their new season, so that was great to see. And their next game is today against Spokane. Weekly awards, I'm going to shout out all the women's teams. DC Power got a 3-1 win, and Washington Spirit got a 3-2 win. Those are my games of the week. My player of the week is Kiki Irefan for breaking that franchise single-season rebound record. And my teams of the week are DC Power and Washington Spirit. And that's all I have for this week. So thanks for watching. Check out the Instagram and like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.